More like what I'm talking about, what meets the eye, more about what we were talking about the other day. Uh, there was this article in my video on Facebook, because I do Facebook Live broadcasts too as well. You should look at them, because the videos I do here on YouTube are way different. And if you want to see our church sermons, they're on Facebook Live now. They're not on on YouTube anymore. But they are on Facebook Live, which, is owned by Google. So they own Facebook now, by the way. But I wanted to tell you that I wrote an article the other day about clowns and how there's this big controversy about how all clown people that wear masks or who are dressed up as clowns are all bad. People have the persona because they're having some horrible things that happen in Texas with kids being lured away and killed, and of course in other places all over the world. But not all clowns are bad. That's the point I made. It'd be just like saying not all black people are prisoners or criminals. But see, the society says that they are, but really they're not. Okay, and that's the same is true for clowns. Not all clown people are child predators, or not all clown people are going to kill people, whether they wear a mask or whether they fully are blown up, dressed up with the makeup on and the whole 9 yards. Because there's a lot of clown people that do that for a job that are really good with kids, and they are very and they have kids themselves, and they're very honest people, and they're not bad people. So just because you see somebody wearing a clown, I would not be scared. What I would do is watch the person. Someone said, well, how can you tell a bad person from a good person? You just don't know these days. Well, how do you know? Is by watching them. That's how. That's how you adjust your behavior accordingly. It's just like when people walk through your neighborhood that you now recognize. Don't assume the worst and say that they're a predator. Sometimes they might be. If you see how they're coming up to your kids and talking to them, yeah, that's a strange behavior. If they're walking through the neighborhood and not doing that, they're not a predator. They might be just cutting through to save some time. Because I can tell you, I was on the receiving end of that one day. I was walking through a neighborhood that I normally don't go through, but I decided to do that to save some time on my walkabout to get home. And I was tired, and I figured this would be potentially. I was looking at a map on my phone, and it showed that it would save me like 20 minutes to get home back to where I live. And I was cutting through the neighborhood. Somebody called the cops on me because they were wondering why I was walking through their neighborhood. And I'm figuring, are we really a society where we get real scared and just call the cops on everything these days? It seems like we are. And, because I was on the end of that, I said, well, Mr. Silvis, the cop, that's what the officer said, we know you're not doing nothing wrong. You have a right to walk through here just like anybody else. But we have to check your ID and all just to make sure, because when we get a call, we have to check it out. And yeah, it is a waste of time. But, if people call us and say there's some strange person walking through their neighborhood these days, we have to take that seriously because there are some bad people, and we know you're not a bad person. But we have to do it because that's just the way society has gotten, and people think those things automatically because largely in cases what the officer said is because the media has put that in their head. And they're exactly right. And what I mean is the state-run media, the dinosaur media, has put these ideas in people's head that everybody walking outside is a predator, all clowns are predators or killers or murderers. And, and what I'm saying is Christians ought to know better. Christians ought not to be that way. We can't judge everybody just because they wear a clown mask that they're all villain, or they're going to do something to our children, or somebody walking in the neighborhood you don't see, that you don't see normally or recognize. Doesn't mean they're a predator either. You watch their behavior. That's how you know, and that's how you change your behavior. If you see somebody going up to a kid, talking to them, then that's when you call the police. Because nobody should be going to a kid, talking to a child, anytime, especially when they don't know them. Now, if they know them, that's different. But if they don't know them and they're strangers, they have no right to be talking to anybody's child, because that is going over the line there. So, but me, I wasn't doing any of that sort. I was just cutting through to save some time, and I was a victim on the end of it. That's why I know that this is wrong. The way our society has gotten really wrong. And you can be an innocent person and still be categorized, like that. Just cutting through the neighborhood to save time. Because that happened to me one time in Hanover, and over there across from the church, Mechanicsville Church of Christ. I don't know if some of the people live in there or what, but Somebody called the cops on me, so it was just really strange. I never had the experience in any other neighborhoods, though, but I had in that one. So that was pretty weird, to say the least. But, don't always judge a book before you look beyond its cover. Watch what people are doing is what I'm saying before you call the police and waste their time and resources. And make sure it really is a real reason to call. So most people call the police just over an argument. Like some people, neighbors will call the police instead of just coming over to your door and asking you to turn your music down. They'll call the police or they'll call the office rather than just talking to you normally like a rational human being would. Because I'm very reasonable and very high standing in the community here. And if somebody were to come over here and talk to me, I wouldn't get mean to them and give them a hard time. I would just turn the radio down and say, well, sorry I was disturbing you. I didn't mean to be disturbing you. I didn't know it was that loud. I just got carried away. Sorry about that. I just turned it down. But I'm just saying as an example. But people a lot of times don't do that. They'll just go to the office and cower, and they'll, or they'll call the police. And I haven't had that happen to me, but I've seen it happen to other neighbors here over similar situations. So it's just, and it's not necessary. You got to really get to know your neighbors for one. And that's largely case in point why we're having this discussion. You got to get to know people in your community where you live, your neighbors there too. Not all people are crazy. Not all people are pedophiles or predators, as people put it, just because they do things a little differently. You got to watch their behavior, like I said. If they're approaching kids and talking to them, yeah, that's not something they should be doing. I did not do that. I was just cutting through, save a little bit of time, and definitely did save some time. But now I just avoid that neighborhood, so I don't have to worry about people calling the police on me for no reason. So I just take another route instead. But that's just what you do. You're dealing with people like that. Crazy people is what I call them. They always get to call the police on everything. That's the kind of world we live in. But hopefully people will get more common sense and kind of watch what's going on. But anyway, this is Michael DeSilvis. This is my little talk today. It's not a rant, but it is really what's going on. I don't like to be accused of things like that, like Mrs. Fritz, Esther or Pester or whatever her name was, comment. She was definitely way off base. Sounds like Sean Shields using a different name. But anyway, but that's kind of what it sounds like, because it sounds like her sarcasm. But anyway, but take care and have a good day, and we'll talk again. It's Michael DeSilvis. And I hope this helps some people. Don't be so quick to stereotype people and categorize people. The society we live in, it's like that. We don't want to get like that. We've got to watch people and see what they do first before we act. Because not all people are bad people. Hey, Barbara, what's up? So, I just want to say, that's what we need to do. She was outside the door there listening. She does that a lot. She's got a problem, mental problem, but she's always listening to what I'm talking about. It's just a crazy, paranoid neighbor. It's just another example. But anyway, everybody have a good day and take care. All right, bye.